Um, Arteta's now walking away with all 3 points from this game this afternoon.
Well, this game looks very tough right now, and it's looking so difficult for Chelsea, for Arsenal. Sorry,
Chelsea.
For Arsenal.
Don't start very early today.
It's looking very difficult for Arsenal to penetrate through the defense, the Bournemouth defense, both from the midfield to the defense. Is very difficult. They try the wings, both the right side and the left side, and they've not been able to get a clear, passage through the defense. But we still expect, it's still early anyway to say, but from what I'm seeing, it's going to be a very tough match today. But at least, even Arsenal is going to win, it's going to be just a margin, just a little gap, not much.
Well, the gaffer said the margin will be very slim, even if Arsenal is going to win. Shegun, do you agree?
I don't really believe in that, but I have to share in his sentiment about Bournemouth, because when you look at Bournemouth, playing at home at the Vitality Stadium, where it's one of their fortress, though not a winning fortress, but when they play against the big team, they know how to hold on to their own against the big team. They know how to trouble them. So I expect a lot of troubling from Bournemouth in this game. Yeah. But you have to give it to Arsenal for what they did against Tottenham in the penultimate week. That is the last week game in the EPL, whereby they played 2-2 draw with Tottenham, and coming to the Carabao Cup, they played 1-0 away to Brentford. So I expect them to know how to grind out these victories against these stubborn teams, especially teams like Bournemouth. So it's a game I'm actually I'm tilting towards Arsenal getting a victory here. No doubt they will get that victory 100% today.
Yeah, Shegun said he's 100% sure. And when Shegun talks like this, there's every tendency that he has seen some things. And the bookies, if you're a smart one, you can go on the life board. Maybe, just maybe, luck can shine on you if you can do the needful on the games. So let's go straight to the formation. Manchester United started with a 4-2-3-1 formation. And that was a good attempt from Carver that was deflected off target. So as Manchester United started with the 4-2-3-1 formation with Onana in goal and Diogo Dalot on the right, Amrabat surprisingly on the left, Varane and Lindelof pairing at the centre back, Mount dropping deep with Casemiro in the pivot role, then Rashford on the left, Pelestri on the right, then Bruno Fernandes playing behind Ojlund. Shegun, you spoke earlier about Amrabat on the left-hand side of the defense.
Yeah, we saw him.
Do you see him doing the needful at that side of the pitch?
Yeah, he's capable of doing the needful on that side of the pitch, because we saw him at the World Cup, played as a makeshift left back for Morocco, and we've seen him play as a makeshift left back for Fiorentina at the in the Serie A last season when he was playing for Fiorentina. When we were coming into this game, I was talking about the injuries worries, talking about Manchester United. They are without Reguilon and they are without Luke Shaw. These are their first set of their starting left backs. So when you are without your two left back, you really have to play with a makeshift left back. And I expect Amrabat to actually give a good account of himself. Though it's his first match in EPL, his debut in the EPL, I wasn't really expecting him to come in and play as his first start in EPL, sorry. So I'm not really expecting him to come in and play as a left back. I wanted to see him in the midfield so he can actually show us what he has to offer. Because the combination between him and Casemiro in the Carabao Cup was actually top-notch that day. And that was one of the reasons why Manchester United midfield was actually strong and solid against Crystal Palace. But now we're having Mason Mount, back.
Just a minute. Wolves just made it 1.
Against
Wolves 1, Man City 0. You can continue.
So we know how Mount is not really that, that strong whenever he's playing as a central midfielder. They've actually tried it before him going injured, and the midfield wasn't actually clicking for Manchester United. I just hope it won't be another issue for them today, because you having Mason Mount and Casemiro in the same midfield, who is moving, who is actually going to be stagnant in that midfield. It's looking like Casemiro will have to be the stagnant one, while Mason Mount barrage a lot on a lot of runs. But we saw it in the midweek in the Carabao Cup. Casemiro, when he has the freedom to move around in the midfield, see the goal he scored, the way his movement when he was actually moving around in the midfield is different from whenever you are using him as a standard for. which I think would be Manchester United's greatest on doing it today. Because if Eberechi Eze should get into his mood, then there's a lot of problem for Manchester United in that midfield.
Yeah, if Eberechi Eze gets into his mood, and Rashford in the box, oh, it was well defended by the Crystal Palace defense. It was well taken care of. And it's 14th minute of the game, still Man U nil, Crystal Palace nil, Bournemouth still nil, Arsenal nil, and I think Bournemouth has a corner kick. Yeah, so let's see what they can do. Man U has a corner kick, Man plays it in, and the header went way off target. And also, Bournemouth couldn't make anything out of their corner kick. So, in the game so far, the only team that is up is Wolves. And let's see if there's another goal that will be added to it. So, the Gaffer, 4-2-3-1 formation, Manchester United. And you see, and Newcastle just made it 1-0 against Burnley. So 4-2-3-1, Manchester. I can see Shegun smiling.
It's much expected from Newcastle because against Burnley, they are likely suspect against Burnley to actually defeat Burnley. So whenever it comes to playing against the small teams, Newcastle they know how to do that job perfectly. Take them to the cleanser, and scoring early on in the game is actually very much important for them to grow into the game. So that was why I was actually smiling, because I know that Newcastle scoring against Burnley this early.
But I beg to differ. I think there might be more to it.
That's what I'm saying. No.
Maybe
not
some bookings.
No, it's not about bookings. It's not about bookings.
Okay.
Probably it's the Gaffer that will be thinking of booking.
It's not a crime trying to multiply some things. Yeah. So, now, the Gaffer 4-2-3-1 formation. Amrabat playing on the left for like the first time in the Man U jersey. How do you see him doing the dirty job?
Yeah, 4-2-3-1. I think it's a very good formation for Manchester United against Crystal Palace, given the fact that Crystal Palace is also a dangerous side when it comes to midfield. Their midfield is very strong when they have the likes of Eberechi Eze there.
Arsenal set it back to Raya, and Raya trying to play from the defense. It has been a very, very calm game so far. The tempo, for me, I think needs to be up a little. The Gaffer, you can continue.
All right. So, given the fact that Crystal Palace is also a dangerous side, a lot of things happen in the Carabao Cup. We begin to ask questions if this is really the real Crystal Palace we knew. But we sometimes begin to feel probably it's the Carabao Cup, and they didn't come with all their strength. But here is the EPL, and it's looking so different here right now. With the formation of Manchester United, they know very well that Crystal Palace is a very dangerous side. Amrabat have actually proven that he is going to be a very good, addition to the Manchester United. So I think this is the third match now he has played. The first one was not the full time. Hey, chance for Arsenal, and that is a goal.
And Arsenal just made it 1-0. Saka just made it 1
in the 15th minute.
In the 17th minute.
And you have to look at this young man, he always come to the rescue and always come to the party for Arsenal at his young age, the talent is just there.
Games he has played, Shegun. Don't you think Arsenal should be careful?
And coming into this game there was a fear of him being injured, but coming into the game, I don't really expect him to play 90 minutes because he's not looking fully fit for this game. But him getting the first goal for Arsenal, he shows how much they actually how much responsibilities Arsenal put on this young man, and how much they believe in this young man. And he has always lived up to that expectations for Arsenal. Don't forget there's no Gabriel Martinelli who is out injured. And yes, Saka living up to expectations week in, week out, is getting the goals or the assists for Arsenal. And that is why they are keeping up to this young man.
And congratulations player, no doubt. To Saka. Saka just made it. Arsenal won. Arsenal won Bournemouth nil. Still nil the game between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. And a quick update, Osimhen just made it 2 for Napoli.
Wow.
He scored in the 51st minute of the game, and he came in from the bench, and Kvaratskhelia Osimhen partnership He's beginning to do some dirty job.
Yeah, we saw it last season, But, that's one of the reasons why I wanted him to stay at Napoli this season, because I know he was going to get the goals. I want him to get the equal number or more than the numbers he got last season, so he can show that he's not actually, actually strong mentally, and you are there psychologically. That's what's a better way to actually get yourself back into the mind of the fans. Like, yes, this is the man we saw last season that actually pushed us to our first La Liga title after 30 years. Serie A title, sorry, after 30 years. And yeah, he's doing it again this season. 5 goals already in week 7 is actually a good number for him. He can only get better. Because I know this is not Osimhen's limit.
The gaffer, Shegun said he can only get better. Now, what areas do you think Osimhen needs to grow up?
Osimhen is a complete player, he's a rounded player. When it comes to assists, he's always there. When it comes to goal, what I just want him to do is to score more goals. Goal. That is what is. That is why he always included in the squad of Napoli. That's what I just want him to score more.
And Arsenal on the counter with Odegaard. What can you do? Approach the box, set a pass. Oh, that was a good save from the Bournemouth goalkeeper. And Nketiah couldn't get close to that.
Running was actually slow than the ball.
Not just the runnings alone. I think Odegaard didn't put that ball in the right position for Nketiah. And Bournemouth on the attack, but it was withheld by the Arsenal defense. And still stalemate 0-0 at the 21st minute of the game between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. Nothing much to talk about. A quick update about the scoreline. Wolves still 1-0 up against Man City, surprisingly. Newcastle, a goal up against Burnley, not surprisingly. West Ham, Sheffield United, 0-0. Manchester United, Crystal Palace, 0-0. Everton, Luton Town, 0-0. And Arsenal, a goal up, a goal scored by Bukayo Saka. The Nigerian by lineage, but England by adoption. So far so good.
I was talking about Osimhen before you cut me short. So I think what a way for him to respond to all the criticism against him during our talk sport. We were saying the best way for you to respond to this criticism, give them more goals.
On the field
of play, respond on the field of play, and to tell them that you are who you are. Nobody takes it away from you. Calling you coconut head or calling you mango head does not change who you really are.
And that's a free kick for Bournemouth in a dangerous area. I think the player should be trying to set this one into the box and let's see what he can do with it. He raised his hands, tried to locate one of his teammates, and he placed the cross inside, and there was no one to connect to it. There was no one, and that is a throw-in for Bournemouth, well defended by Ben White. The gaffer, you can continue.
All right, so for Osimhen scoring a goal today, it gladdens my heart. It gladdens my heart, and it gladdens a lot of Nigerian and Africans who are supporting him, because the number of supporters he's having is increasing day and day. Even this controversy.
And there was a story yesterday morning that it seems Real Madrid is beginning to look in his way. Real Madrid, Chelsea, Manchester United, and even Arsenal.
He's a top striker. There's no doubt. Whenever even without issues, the big clubs will always cycle around Osimhen, getting that numbers last season and getting the numbers this season. When you are looking for a complete 9 and inside the box 9, whenever you take Haaland, the next name that should come to your mind is actually Victor Osimhen. They are on the same caliber when it comes to the same kind of beast when it comes to being within the box. They are ready to take the shot anytime, and it's going to the back of the net. So every big club, you look at Real Madrid, since Benzema left Real Madrid for Saudi Arabia, they've not been able to replace Benzema with a prolific 9. They are using Joselu probably for one season, because when you look at Joselu's age at the age of 32, there's little to what you can really expect from him. So Madrid is actually playing with without or maybe a half striker this season. So they'll surely want to go into the market and get a full breed striker.
And even Mbappe, that we hear them to be linked with.
I know Mbappe doesn't want to play as a number 9. He wants to play on the wing. So there's always a problem if Mbappe is going to Real Madrid, because there's Vinicius in the peak of his career. He had to match his peak of his career. But when you look at both Mbappe and Vinicius' age, then you know that they have the ceilings. They have high ceilings to get to the end of their career.
And they are also explosive players.
So it will actually be hard for having two of them at Real Madrid. It will actually be looking forward to see how that is going to work. But you know, Osimhen is actually going to be a top pick for Eddie.
And West Ham just made it one. Almost immediately, Luton too also made it one. So 25th minute of the game, it's Luton Town away at Everton, leading a goal to nil. Surprisingly to many people, wow. I can see the surprise on the face of the gaffer. And West Ham, a goal up, expectedly to some people. But football, sometimes it gives you what you expect, and sometimes the unexpected happens.
Well, talking about Luton Town, I think we're yet to see a win from newly promoted side. Yet
the three of them.
The three of them.
Yeah, the three of them.
The three of them yet to win again.
The
same family circle. So for Luton Town to go up against Everton now is a good one. So, but let's see how they can sustain it to the end. And knowing fully well that Everton too, right now they're on fire. They are good when it comes to scoring, just that they need to work on their defense.
And it's a free kick from Eberechi Eze. He's standing behind the free kick, trying to call it in. He's looking into his box, raises into the boxer, raises his hands to try to locate one of his men. He plays it in. Can anybody connect it?
Wow, fantastic!
He didn't just raise the hand like a linesman.
Wow!
He raised the hand and he located Anderson.
Wow,
his teammate. You know, and
Onana is back.
No, but I think that's
there's no fault for Onana. There's no fault for Onana.
I don't think he can do anything.
Fantastic free kick. You know, that
was picking your man. He picked in deflection and one time shot. That was a loose ball. That was a loose ball. When you want to defend well.
He took it once, like there was no bouncing.
There was a deflection.
There was a deflection there. But you know the caller, he went straight for the top corner there.
Yeah.
And fantastic goal there from Anderson. He took it with every venom in his foot. And went straight to the top corner of the net.
Left hand
corner. Where to start, you know?
That's a beautiful way.
That was why I was telling you that, you know, it's a different ball game playing in the Carabao Cup.
And I think they will check this for a possible
offside. Is there an offside there? No, there shouldn't be an offside there.
They will check.
Probably an infringement is what they want to be checking there. But
because there are some Crystal Palace player offside. They will check if he's blocking the view of the goalkeeper.
That ball was not coming in front of him, but that ball was actually going up. So I don't know why Eric Tarrant is looking.
The game has restarted. Crystal Palace won. At the Theatre of Dreams. Maybe today it might be Theatre of Lamentation.
You know one thing about Manchester United is they need to get Rashford into the mood, because he's actually the one, you know, who is in control of the way Manchester United attack actually plays. If Rashford is not getting in the play, he's not getting in the mode of play, he's not in his form, it's actually going to be a big problem for Manchester United. When you look at the way they play, everything good that Manchester United wants to actually orchestrate in their game, it actually comes through Rashford. So if Marcus Rashford is not getting into the game, he hasn't scored any goal this season, and that is why it's looking like Manchester United is actually, you know, struggling to get number of goals in the games. So they need to get him into the game. The earlier the better, which will actually be good for Manchester United, because, you know, going 1-0 down against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford is actually a very bad one for them. Yeah. Though I expect them to come back into this game, but they haven't been playing like they are actually going to come back. And that brings me to talking about that midfield. We saw the midfield pairing in the Carabao Cup, how it actually worked against Manchester United. Yeah. And today, the midfield doesn't look strong. You know, it doesn't look like a midfield capable of containing this a full-fledged Crystal Palace in the EPL. So they actually have to know what to do in the second half. Are you going to take Mason Mount out? Because I always argue it. It's not always right when you're starting Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes together. You are actually using two players who should have been. You are actually starting two players whereby one is supposed to be starting as your attacking midfielder, and you bringing Mason Mount to the central midfield role is actually a no-no to me. Because you are playing at the detriment of your team. Take Amrabat to the midfield, probably have another midfielder or a winger come in to play as a makeshift left back for you, because they need to choke that midfield. That midfield is actually non-existent in this game for Manchester United. And the earlier the better for them.
Shagun said the earlier the better. Therefore, you will have a take on that. A quick reel out of the scores right now in the Bundesliga is Borussia Mönchengladbach away to Bochum 3-0 up. It's half-time. Bayern Leverkusen is 1 goal up against Mainz, and Wolfsburg is also 1 goal up against Eintracht Frankfurt. And you can join the conversation on our live chat. Walid Zara says, hello, how are you? We are fine. We are doing well. It's a well weekend because there's football everywhere you turn. And the Gaffer, you wanted to have a say on the Manchester United.
I wanted to add to what Shegun said. You know, like we in the Carabao Cup, we saw a combination in the midfield.
Yeah.
You understand? We saw with Pelestri on the wing. You know, we saw
Amrabat
Casemiro. We saw Hannibal.
It was a 4-3-1-2 formation.
Yes, Hannibal and Messi Mount.
Yeah.
Was it Messi Mount?
Yeah, it was Messi Mount.
So that combination was a very good one.
But you know that sometimes the players that are available will affect the choice of formation the coach will use sometimes. Let me say,
sometimes it's good looking. Now you
Saka
always football is all about, for the coach.
I think it was managed.
Yes.
That was a Nash tackle. That was a Nash tackle. It will leap. It's his right leg.
He's already leaping.
Yeah, it will come back. He's a Yoruba. He likes fufu, so.
He like Amala, not fufu.
It's Amala, okay.
Quick recovery,
yeah. And it's 31st minute of the game between Bournemouth Arsenal and is Arsenal leading 1-0. Also 31st minute, Crystal Palace with an attack.
Good defensive.
That was a good defensive block from Varane.
The express is always there when you have Rafael Varane. This is a World Cup winner. You know, a lot of Champions League in that man's name. So the experience is there. That was a good recovery and good takeaway from him there. Because he will have left that man, you know, straight.
If he had made that attempt,
he would have left Mateta straight against the goalkeeper, which might have actually been the second goal for Crystal Palace in the first half, and it would have put Manchester United in a lot of troubles in this first half, as early as 44 minutes.
And we can see Mateta leaping, kind of.
He'll actually play on. These are strong players.
Yeah, these are strong players. Arsenal, it's been a game so far dominated by Arsenal. Arsenal has had the better fair share of possession. Now, let's look at the formation of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace also started with a 4-2-3-1 formation. With Johnston in goal, we saw Henderson got injured
in the Carabao Cup.
In the Carabao Cup. And Luton just made it to back to the game. I heard the sound from the gaffer.
No, apart from the wow, I just pray they keep it, to the end of 90 minutes. We saw them the way they struggled to come to the league last season. It was actually well deserved.
Funny enough, Luton is one of those clubs I have soft spots for.
We know.
So Justin started in goal, Ward on the right, Mitchell on the left, and Anderson, Gueye, centre back pairing, Dokure and Uj, two pivot midfielders, and Eze, Shops, and Ayu playing behind Mateta. And Shegun, the two teams playing the same formation. Don't you think it will leave much to be seen of the expressive kind of game we want to see?
No, I don't really see that as much difference, because when you look at the most famous formation right now in these days is 4-2-3-1 formation.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to pack it in the midfield.
Yeah.
Football has gone beyond whereby you have wingers who are just running around the pitch.
Yeah.
Now you have to play your ball within the midfield. Once you are holding on to the midfield, once you gain possession of the midfield, then you are gaining possession. You are controlling the game. So that is very much important. And that's why we have a lot of teams actually playing 4-2-3-1 formation, so they can pocket the whole midfield and control game. And that is why Manchester United have been losing it today, because their midfield battle has actually been zero. They've lost the midfield to Crystal Palace in this game. And that was why it was easy for them to concede that goal. So I think I don't really have a problem with both teams playing with same formation, because that's the strongest they can actually come. And that is the two of them favorite formation. So it's actually not a big problem at all.
Yeah, it's not a big problem at all. And we just see Kai Havertz got into the yellow books of the referee, just getting an ash tackle on the Bournemouth player there. And Bournemouth is on the attack, playing, knocking around in the final third of the Arsenal box 18. And we see Ten Hag dishing out instructions. The gaffer, what do you think Manchester United should be doing right now to come back into this game, so that the theatre of dreams will not continue to be a theatre of lamentation?
What they need to do right now, they actually need a goal right here to balance the situation right now, because Crystal Palace despite the fact that I go up against Manchester United, they are not relenting in their effort.
And a quick one, there's a comment here from Abdul Mohammed Shehu. Thanks for joining us. He says, hello, are you the man? I guess he's trying to say what's going on in the match. And just a quick relapse, 35th minute of the game, Man U is a goal down to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace leading a goal to nil. Arsenal is a goal up. Arsenal leading 1-0. West Ham also leading 1-0 against Sheffield. And Man City is a goal down at Wolves. And Everton is 2 goals down at home to Luton Town. And Bayer Leverkusen is a goal up. And Napoli is 2 goals up at the 79th minute of the game. The Gaffer, you can continue.
All right, so what Manchester United need to do right now is what they actually need is goal right now. The defense does not look so bad, but that goal came just due to some brilliance of Berechi. Look at the flip of the free kick he took.
Yeah.
You know, the finisher was so brilliant and he ended it a goal up. So now, the dependence on Rashford has been so much. And in the past, in fact, he has not scored a goal. This is match day 7 of the EPL.
Yet to score this season.
Yet to score this season. And we saw him last season, towards the end of the season, back to back, 5 consecutive matches, he was scoring goal. For a very long time, we've not seen any player did that. But Rashford did it. 5 consecutive matches.
And Arsenal said the pass to Nketiah. Nketiah in the box, what can he do? Oh, he tries to turn in, and
that was actually wrong.
That movement
should have been precise there.
He should have played it.
It was not balanced. It was not balanced.
That's why
he's a striker. That's why he's a striker. He immediately got into the box.
He should have played
instead of
that
taking that
ball.
second shot, instead of taking that second
touch.
He should have gone for his shots. That second touch was just one way too much. Because he gave the defenders room to actually defend against him there.
Okay. What I was saying now, Rashford has not actually come to the party when it comes to scoring goal. Manchester United, they actually depended on him to be getting those goals, and it was as a result of Rashford scoring last season that got them to top 4. You understand what I'm saying? But now we are not getting this goal. We saw his absence in the last match in the Carabao Cup. What happened? That was the first time Manchester United scored up to 3 goals. So that means Ten Hag should be able to kind of look at the side of Rashford by probably doing something extra, by trying to avoid him or let him be like a false 9, a false scorer. But get people who will get you these goals. Rashford is not forthcoming. Maybe he's having a break when it comes to goal scoring. So he should look for other alternatives. Otherwise, Manchester United will continue and they will not get a goal. But right now, they need a goal to balance this equation.
Yeah, right now, the gaffer said Manchester United need a goal to balance this equation. Well, 38 minutes of the game at the Old Trafford, the equation is not balanced yet. Crystal Palace is still leading 1-0. And also, Arsenal is leading 1-0. We could see that beautiful dribble from Gabriel Jesus there, and it was fouled. And he has a free kick in his favor. And West Ham just made it 2-0 against Sheffield United at the 38th minute of that game right there. Well, it's still a long day for football. We are enjoying every bit we are having here. You can join the conversation on our live chat. Join us. Tell us your view on the games, what you've heard so far, and the result, the live result as it's going on. Some people will say as they ought. Well, Shegun, so far you have seen the Arsenal game. What do you think so far in this game has been working for Arsenal?
Well, it has been, it has actually been Saka from the beginning. The wing battles has actually been great for Arsenal. Talking about Saka and Gabriel Jesus, they've actually been doing the good work for Arsenal in this game. And you have to give it to Kai Havertz also. A lot of good runnings, getting into the pocket places. Though people will actually look at it that he's not scoring the goals, but I know very soon the goals will start coming for Kai Havertz. But you have to look at the movement for Arsenal. Though you have to look at Bournemouth, when it comes to defending, they've actually been great in this game, except for that goal they conceded, and that is how Bournemouth actually comes into the game. And you know, the scoring the problem has actually just been the problem for them. Creating the chance has not been a problem for Bournemouth. But, you know, scoring that goal against this strong Arsenal defenders, when you look at the central back pairing of Saliba and Gabriel, that is one of the most beautiful central back pairings in England and one of the best central back pairing in England. And you look at the Arsenal goalkeeper, Raya. You know, when you look at Raya when he was at Brentford last season, you know, he's one of the fantastic goalkeepers when it comes to passing the ball with his foot at the back, and he's a strong goalkeeper when it comes to, you know, handling the ball, you know, good reflexes and all that makes Son a fantastic goalkeeper. He has everything in himself. And when he joined us now, we knew, and we're talking about it here in the studio, that how is Arteta going to, you know, handle this battle or this you know, this conflict with having two of the very best goalkeeper in EPL. And we've seen him, you know, back to back matches now in EPL and still churning out, you know, fantastic results. And that is the kind of headache every coaches want to have, because when you go back to the training season section, you have, you know, players. You have Ramsdale, who is now on the bench as this who is their preferable first choice goalkeeper, but right now on the bench. You know, when it comes to training right now,
he was the one
he
in
kept
goal
in the
Brentford.
Carabao Cup, and he actually kept a clean sheet. So let's see if he'll be coming back into the team in the Champions League on Tuesday against Lens. So it's very much important, because, you know, that synergy, you have to make these players happy. And goalkeeper is the position whereby it's just one that keeps. You can't have two goalkeepers in a game.
Yeah,
so
of course.
You have to keep that synergy, and it's, you know, it's a dicey position. It's a dicey wing on the post, because you don't change a winning team.
Yeah.
You don't change a winning goalkeeper. A goalkeeper that is churning out clean sheets every week in, week out. There's no way you're going to change him. And it's actually to the good of Arsenal, because, you know, having two fantastic goalkeepers will actually push you to the end of the season. And let's see if this season probably Arsenal can actually win the league.
Yeah, let's see if Arsenal can actually win the league. Well, they are leading here. They are leading a goal to nil at the 41st minute of the game. The camera on Ramsdale, you know, it's a good headache when you have two players that are good in the same position, because it helps to keep the other on his toes.
Yeah.
So, well, so far so good for Arsenal, but not so good for Manchester United. The Gaffer, what do you think the Ten Hag should be doing right now about them coming back into this game?
Yeah, what they should be doing right now is trying to, you know, you can see Casemiro with the presence of Amrabat, you know, at the defense. If we look at it, it was just, it was not like the defense actually flopped to get that goal. It can happen to any team.
Yeah, it's a dead ball situation.
Yeah, it's a dead ball situation. It can happen to any team. So I will not say the defense is that outrightly bad, but I will say right now that is the situation. And football, that is what you get when you watch football. That is why sometimes you cannot predict football.
Yeah.
You don't predict, you
it's
can only
like
try.
Biscuit.
Yeah, you can only try. So that is what has just happened to Manchester United right now. It's not that they are not doing well. They are playing very well, but what they need right now is a goal. Now, it is time for Casemiro to move forward, because he has been the one scoring the goals for Manchester United.
If Casemiro is moving
and that was a good attempt, and it's a penalty for Arsenal.
I think Vera will be checking that, but
I think Vera will check that.
And another opportunity for Saka to make it 2 goals.
And it's Nketiah.
And Nketiah winning that. That was actually a wayward and unnecessary tackle from the Bournemouth defender there. You know, at a point when you are looking like everything is looking hard, you are not getting the goals, and you are losing out a penalty again in the first half. It's not actually very good for you against a team like Arsenal that they don't really concede that much of goals, and you are considering a penalty in the first half.
This is exactly, there was a match we watched. This is exactly what I expected. I think that it was a Chelsea match.
Yeah, it was Chelsea and Modric.
Modric. This is exactly what I expected Modric to do. Do you know that if
Modric had gone down there, it would have been a
penalty. That's what I was saying. Now look at this. Look at this movement. You understand? It just went down.
At times you just have to sell it. You just have to sell it to your opponent.
Yes, yes.
Saka is right there, you know, on the ball right now, and it's going to be the captain talking about Odegaard taking that.
Yeah. So you can still join the conversation on our live chat comment section, and be sure that we will try as much as possible to read out all your response, all your comments on the game. And Arsenal has a penalty with Odegaard standing close to it. And Odegaard plays it and sends the keeper the wrong way. It's Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 0. Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 0. Wow. Now, as it is right now, the Gaffer, do you see Bournemouth coming back into this game?
Of course, I expected Arsenal to win this match, but I know it was not going to be a very large margin. But what we are seeing right now is 2-0 up, and the match is not over yet. This is just first half.
Yeah.
This is just first half. And remember, you are home to Bournemouth. You are home to Bournemouth, so you expect them to score a goal.
No, away at Bournemouth.
Away. Arsenal away.
Yeah,
Arsenal okay, at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth are at home.
Bournemouth are at home. Away, yeah, Arsenal are away. You understand? So we expect them to come back at least a goal to have a goal in this match.
I don't really see them scoring a goal.
They don't
look likely.
Bournemouth, they are so stubborn. They are so stubborn that whenever I see any big team playing against Bournemouth, I'm always uncomfortable. I'm always uncomfortable because they can pull surprises.
Hope that big team is not Chelsea.
And Napoli just made it 3 at the 87th minute
I think
of the game.
Now they are beginning to rise up. They are beginning to rise to this challenge this season. Because when the season started, a lot of draws, and they were looking like they were not in to compete this season. Probably they've actually relinquished their position. But now, with the back-to-back wins, they are looking likely that, okay, now we can actually compete. And it's going to actually be a very beautiful Serie A season. Because when you look at Juventus churning out the results every week, you look at, what's it called? You look at
Inter Milan
with the number of transfers they made, fantastic players, and they're getting the wins also. You look at Inter Milan. So it's actually, this four are actually going to make it a very competitive league in the Serie A. So it's still a very long game to go. Week 7 out of 38 weeks is actually a very long battle to go.
And Everton just scored one back. So it's Everton 1, Luton 2.
They will complete that comeback in the
46th minute.
They will complete the
Well,
comeback.
it's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Arsenal still leading 2-0. Crystal Palace a goal up at the Theatre of Dreams. Newcastle still a goal up at St James's Park. And West Ham still 2-0 up against Sheffield United.
A chance for Bournemouth. And that is no.
And it was well blocked by Gabriel. That was good defending.
Billing
by
should have gone for that shot, right? Very much.
Look at that.
And that was good calculation from Gabriel there. He actually calculated his move.
Wow, what a save.
And he was actually there to save his team. That would have been a good goal for Bournemouth. 2-1 and leaving the first half with 1 goal deficit would have actually, giving them a lot of this momentum coming into the second half. But Arsenal were able to douse the fire there. So that still keeps the game 2-0. Going into the 1 minute additional time of this game.
All right, talking about Manchester United against Wolves. Wolves is leading.
Manchester City.
Wolves is leading Manchester City 1 goal up against Manchester City. And, we know Manchester City is like they are gradually becoming second half team, like Liverpool. Liverpool,
they might not be winning this. They might actually end in a full-time draw. This game against Wolves. Wolves is actually
dangerous at home
when you face them, because when they play, they have this kind of Portuguese pattern of play. They are not scared of putting the ball.
And Bayer Leverkusen just made it to.
Hope Victor Boniface is scoring.
Let's see who scored. Their first goal was an own goal.
First goal was an own goal. So, okay, talking about Manchester City. Manchester City have actually considered the lesser goal than any other team this season. This is match 7. They only conceded 3 goals. With this one was considered scored against them by Wolves now is 4. That's to tell you how defensive they are, even though they are the most attacking.
And it's Grimaldo that got
the second goal
for Bayern.
What about the second goal? Who scored the second goal for the third goal for Napoli?
Not Osimhen. It was not Osimhen. It was Gaetano that scored.
Gaetano. That is good. I think they are gradually coming back to winning. So we expect to see second half. Second half is going to be an expensive moment. Let's see if Manchester City can retain that spirit of champions, that they come back in the second half and score 3 goals in the second half and take the game.
But you notice something about talking about a quick talk about Napoli. You notice something about them. They switched to the 4-3-3 that Spalletti used more last season, and it began to bring out some good results. Shegun.
Yeah, that's when you go back to changing formation with a new coach is actually is usually a big work, and you can see it in Pochettino also at Chelsea. That's why he's finding it hard to change to a 4-man backline, because Chelsea are used to playing with 3-man at the back, and their players are used. So it takes a lot of time when you're changing new formation. You have to just try it once in a while till the players, get used to it and knows how to utilize such formation. So I think it's very good for him to go back to the 4-3-3 formation that Spalletti used to use, and you can see the results coming out from that formation. So if you have your own mentality or you have your own philosophy of football, you just have to try implementing it once at a time, not you just coming in freshly and changing the formation. And I think that was one of the reasons why Napoli actually struggled coming into the season. But now it's good for them. You don't change what actually gives you results, and it's back to their favorite formation right now, and results are coming in. So I think he has to maintain that.
Yeah, he has to maintain that because the result is coming in. It's halftime in the game between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, Manchester United and Crystal Palace, sorry. And it's also halftime in the Wolves-Man City game. Wolves 1-0 up there. West Ham 2-0 at halftime. Newcastle 1-0 at halftime. Crystal Palace a goal up at the Old Trafford
Wow, that was a great save. Raya.
Look at that beautiful
This is one of the reasons why he's
Raya.
actually the starting goalkeeper for Arsenal.
That
Fantastic
was
save from that young man. That was a
beautiful
beautiful save from the young man.
Raya.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that shot. That was a good
And you have to
save.
look at it. This is one of the reasons why De Gea is not actually having a look at in the Spanish team, because you have to look at the goalkeeper when you have Raya, you have Kepa, and you're having Robert Sanchez. These are young goalkeepers, who are able to actually give themselves a lot of fights between themselves.
And it's halftime in the game between Bournemouth and Arsenal. Arsenal 2-0 up there from goals from Saka, and it seems Napoli has a penalty in the 94th minute of the game. Napoli has a penalty.
I just hope he takes that. I hope he takes that. I hope he takes that. No, it's not even about correcting himself.
When you make mistakes, the best way to correct it is to face it.
It's not the first time we are simply asked to lose penalty.
And Napoli just made it 4-0 from the penalty spot. And it's 4-0 Napoli. Politano took the penalty and converted it to a goal. So it's Napoli 4, Lecce 0. Wow. That's
good result. Good result for them. Fantastic result for Napoli.
Yeah.
Fantastic result for Napoli.
And congratulations to them. They are doing well. Well, let's go back. Talking about Wolves. Wolves 1-0 up against Man City. The Gaffer, did you see Wolves holding their own against the defending champion?
Well, it's one thing that is very difficult to do against Manchester United. Manchester City, sorry. Manchester City, to hold them, when you are a goal up in the second half. We've seen them. I think this should be the third one. They lost the first half, but they come back in the second half. I just hope they can replicate what they did in the previous matches. But how defensive is Wolves? That is what matters right now. How defensive are they against a highly attacking side?
We've seen teams that could hold down defensively against any team. Go down to the sword of Man City when Man City come at you. Now, don't you think Wolves should be more, maybe attack more than just sit back at the defense?
Of course. The best way of defense is to attack. The best way do they have that attacking, prowess to attack against Manchester City? Remember, Manchester City is also one of the most defensive side when it comes to the EPL, and that is why they were able to win a treble last season, because they say if you want to win trophies,
Yeah, attack win you games.
But defense win you trophies. So is it because
and it's 3-0 in the game between Mainz and Bayern Leverkusen. Leverkusen 3-0 up. The third goal was scored by Offham, not Boniface.
Oh, it's Boniface not starting this game because
he started actually.
He's the one that scored now, right?
No,
Offman, not Boniface.
Hoffman.
Okay. You have to give it to the good work Xabi Alonso is actually doing in that Bayern Leverkusen. They are yet to lose a game this season, and the numbers, the goals.
They played Bayern.
Yes, the goals they actually outplayed Bayern. They played Bayern, but it ended in a full-time draw that day. And you look at the number of goals they've scored this season and the kind of pattern of play, and you have to look at Xhaka coming into that Bayern Leverkusen midfield has actually brought a lot of experience into that team, and it has actually been valuable to them, getting the numbers of goals, getting the victories, and they are looking like a better fit to actually fight Bayern Munich for the league rather than Dortmund, that we know how much they actually bottle it when it comes to the end of the season. So let's see if they can actually keep on that momentum to the end of the Bundesliga season. It's very much important for them.
Yeah, it's very much important to keep this momentum till the end of the season. Hopefully they have the depth in the squad, because football injuries can pop up at any time. We'll go for a very short break, and when we get back, it will be the second half fit. Stay with us.
Yes, and some of the fans also said something.
And
Yes. Hello, I dey here right now with Arsenal fan, and the name na Shegun. You know, so now Arsenal they right now. They anywhere they if they see Chelsea fans, then they proud. If they see Man U fans, then they proud. Now only the people where they try to win there right now na Manchester City. But here you see with me with Shegun, he dey happy. I want to hear you. How you dey feel as Arsenal fan?
Oh, as an Arsenal fan, Arsenal on top of their game right now. They can compete with any rival. Even Man City, the people claim they are the champion, but Arsenal is really competing with them at the moment. I give it to them at the moment. As an Arsenal fan. Thank you.
All right, Shegun, we say give it to them at the moment. He's proud of his Arsenal. Today match, Bournemouth versus Arsenal, a very tough cracker. Do you think Arsenal can defeat Bournemouth?
Oh, it's a very tough one. I won't lie to you. It won't be so convenient to win Bournemouth, because they also do the real thing by putting the game balls down and doing the tiki-taka thing, But as it is, you can't compare the form of Bournemouth to Arsenal form, So I see Arsenal winning, but just maybe it will be a tight one, but they definitely gonna win at the end of the game. Thank you.
Yeah, Shegun, they're definitely gonna win at the end of the day. How do you feel with your last match? Arsenal versus Tottenham. How do you feel? The game ended 2-0. 2-2, sorry, 2-2, yeah.
2-2, it ended 2-2. That game was a very interesting one. Come to talk about Tottenham. Tottenham are doing very well this time. They are doing excellently well. But me going in for Tottenham, I'm playing away game against Tottenham. So playing 2-2 with Tottenham, at the form of Tottenham, it's not still a bad one. It's a tie game, but we move on. It's still the game, we move on.
All right, they move on. They pick a point there. I think it's good for them. All right, today's match, what is your prediction? What is with the scoreline?
Okay, you want me to predict just one prediction, or how many predictions?
Like two.
Okay, like two. Yeah. Okay, it's going to be a 1-0 or 2-1 match. Thank you, yeah.
Yes, Shego, say a 1-0 or 2-1 match. That is his own
in favor of Arsenal. In favor of Arsenal.
In favor of Arsenal. Yeah. So, Mr. Shego, thank you very much for granting us interview.
Thank you too.
Enjoy the rest of the match. All right now I'm here with Engineer Kenneth. Remember him in the last interview, he said Manchester United was going to win. And surprisingly, Manchester United won. And not just that they won, back-to-back victory against Burnley and against Crystal Palace. He was so confident when he said it. Yeah, I'm with him right now, and I want to talk about the match this time around, not the Carabao Cup any longer, but the Premier League, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. How do you feel, Engineer?
I feel so happy. I feel so honored being a Manchester United fan.
What are the signs you saw that made you say Manchester United was going to bounce back?
The sign I saw there is that the badge has been brought back to light.
Okay.
The name Manchester United is back to fame. So we are ready to go. The boys are willing to go for the badge.
All right. You defeated Crystal Palace 3-0 in the Carabao Cup. You are playing back in the EPL. Don't you think? In the Premier League. So don't you think? Probably because it's the Carabao Cup, they were relaxed, and now they are going to bounce back in the Premier League.
In football, there's nothing as in being relaxed. In football, it's all about bringing out your best, which I believe Crystal Palace did, but they were overwhelmed by the youthful zealous of our Man U players, and I believe there won't be any change today. Instead, it will be more than what we saw the last Tuesday.
All right, what do you think that Manchester United have done that gave them this back-to-back victory? What tactics? What changes? What came in?
I believe the players now knew what they are up to and they had to give their best, most especially the youngsters that came in.
All right, all right. Okay, can you give me like 3 Manchester United players that impressed you so far?
Pelistri, Ganisho, and Onana.
All right, Pelistri, talking about Pelistri, he has been on the bench. Anthony used to bench him because why he played was because of the controversies Anthony had and injury. He was not featured, but that brought in Pelistri. But he came in and he showed himself, and he brought a different flow of football. Don't you think today is going to be bench, or do you think that the good performance he did in the Crystal Palace match will bring him first team play?
No, I don't believe that, because what I believe is about using your winning team continuously. And I'm not disputing the ability of Anthony, but it's all about taking your opportunity when it comes. And I believe Pelistri have gotten that. And I don't see the coach putting him back on the bench, but give him that start to build that confidence in him and to build that experience that he's building on.
All right. You can hear Engineer himself. He has got. In fact, the inclusion of Pelistri there was something so beautiful that the right wing was flowing against Crystal Palace, and we hope to see today again. This time around in the Premier League. So what is your prediction for today's match?
More than 2 goals.
More than 2 goals. You hear me again. Anytime you talk, I fear, because you always get it right. I hope this time around it's going to be more than 2 goals. Engineer, thank you for talking with us. God bless. Yeah.
what some of the fans said right there on their opinion on their teams. You know, sometimes football is like a religion. You just choose to follow the team you have that preference for. Well, it's a restart already. Crystal Palace, Manchester United has started the second half. It's still 1-0 in favor of Crystal Palace. And Newcastle has also restarted. And West Ham too have restarted. No scoreline has changed. It's still the same thing. And in the German Bundesliga, it's still Bayern Leverkusen 3 goals up against Mainz. And Heidenheim is 1-0 up against Union Berlin. Some of the bookies might be expecting much more from that game as expected. And we can see that Arsenal too is back on the field trying to start their second half to this game. Now, Shegun, let me go to you. Crystal Palace Man U. Let's just assume you are Ten Hag. What will you be telling the boys, and what would be your approach to this second half?
You know, my biggest problem with Ten Hag and Manchester United this season is that they've been playing without pattern of play. You can't really say this is Manchester United pattern. This is what they actually want to play. It's not every time you have to wait and want to hit teams on counter. When teams knows that that is your only approach to game, they'll actually kill all that out for you from getting those type of opportunities, and they'll frustrate you. And when we're against a team like Crystal Palace, you don't expect yourself to be you don't expect them to open up so much space for you to get counter against them. So if you're not changing your pattern, if you're not changing your approach to game, it's actually going to be a big problem for them. And that one-way approach to matches is their biggest problem this season, and it's still their biggest problem.
Especially when they're playing small teams.
Yes,
like
it's still their problem. It's still a problem in this game. You have to give it to Roy Hodgson. I'm very sure he has watched them during the the Carabao Cup and see that, okay, this is the way you guys want to play. And he has actually choked every loophole in that his left back and his right back, and you can see the work done today. You know, he has actually won the midfield battle in this game. So it's about probably the 60th minute he has to look onto his bench and try and bring bodies, probably players like Garnacho. These are guys that can actually come in the second half and offer something different from what we've seen in this first half. You have to push Rashford very close into the striking position right now, or take him to the right wing and probably have Garnacho on the left wing, because it's very much important. And that's taking Amrabat, although probably they might not concede any much goal from Crystal Palace in the second half, because the way it's looking.
And Arsenal has a chance, but that was well blocked by the Bournemouth defender. And it's a corner kick to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes takes it and couldn't link his fellow teammate. Well, it's 49th minute already. Still Manchester United trailing at home 1-0. And that was a good attempt from Zinchenko in the Arsenal game. To the gaffer. Now, looking at how this game is, the direction Manchester United is going, do you see any brilliant performance from Man U that can lead to them winning this game, not even just coming back into it?
Well, I see Manchester United scoring a goal in this match, but I don't know about the winning, but a goal, definitely Manchester United is going to score a goal in this match. And with the performance so far, it has not been that bad. It has not been that bad, but they need to up their game to get a goal against Crystal Palace. We've seen, Eberechi Eze. I think he should be playing in a bigger club than Crystal Palace. You understand? I think he should be playing in a bigger club than Crystal Palace, because that guy is full of talent, and he's just so different that anytime he holds the ball, something happens. Anytime he holds the ball, something happens. That is where you know a good player. So Manchester United right now, what they are playing, they're total control of the ball. I'm very sure the possession will be changing by now, but it is the finishing. We have not actually seen Rashford. You can even see Rashford playing deep from the left wing, and now you can see Crystal Palace countering and
Crystal
through
Palace.
Berechi Eze again, and you see what will happen anytime you hold the ball, something happen,
And
and
it's
they're
so
taking it to the right.
And
And
they've
what,
actually missed Moziko Olise very much. You know, they can't wait for the young man to come back from injury because you know when you see Berechi and Michael Olise playing together, it's always full of run and they form a formidable duo from Crystal Palace, and not having Michael Olise has actually affected their play so much. So I can't wait for that young man to come. And one player that we've not really seen much from in this game is Bruno Fernandes. And for Manchester United to get Ojlund into this game, they need Bruno Fernandes to be actually at his brilliance level, which this game has actually eluded him. We've not really seen that brilliant level of how Bruno Fernandes come into the game normally. So they need to wake him up in the second half. They need to bring him into this game. Because you look up front, Ojlund is actually, you know, is a bit isolated up front there.
Yeah,
There's not really much of Ojlund in this game. He's not getting the passes. And probably by the 60th to 65th minute, probably we should be seeing Anthony coming in. Because that's another dangerous player that can actually, you know, offer Manchester United something up front.
But
no disrespect. No
Anthony
disrespect.
just resumed training.
No,
today,
Anthony Martial, sorry.
Antonio Martial,
No disrespect to Ojlund, because, you know, you have to look at it that the young man is still a very young player. You know, at the age of 20, there's still a lot of years for you to play at Manchester United. This is the first season in APL. It's a physical league like APL. So it takes time for you to actually gel and get settled into the APL. So there's no need to rush the young man. I think probably by 60th to 65th minute, they need the experience of Anthony Martial up front there. So bring Anthony Martial up front and bring Garnacho into this game. Let's see if that is going to change, you know, the tempo of this game. Because it's looking like a settled tempo. The tempo is not high from Manchester United. They are just waiting to eat Crystal Palace on the counter, and Crystal Palace are not giving you that chance. So you have to find another means of breaking this Crystal Palace down, and that they are not, you know, utilizing. They are not creating those chances to utilize. All their ball is still going back to the wing. What is happening to Bruno Fernandes in the midfield? Make use of the middle if the wings are so hard for you to go through.
Yeah, Shagun says make use of the middle if the wings is out. And we can see Gabriel Jesus in the box for us now. Set it to Saka with a cross, and Ketia couldn't get to the cross. Back into the box with Saka still in the box. Set a pass for Odegaard. And that looks like a penalty. And that's a penalty.
It's a penalty. It's a clear penalty.
That's a penalty.
They should give Havertz. They should let Havertz score his first goal. They should please let Havertz score his first goal for us.
That is a clear penalty against Odegaard.
They need to give Havertz this penalty.
And the referee was so precise about it, and it was absolutely correct.
And you know, just like you said during the Chelsea game, these are things you actually have to sell out. You know, he sold that out. That was exactly what Modric should have done in the Carabao Cup.
That's what
you had the chance, but you know the fear was it. He wants to score a goal. He was always full of running, so probably felt like he still had that advantage of running. But if Modric had fell down there,
that would
have
definitely be a penalty. There's nothing can dispute it. It would have been a penalty. It was because there was a contact. But they want to do strong man. Football, strong man don't win you game.
They should give Havertz this penalty and let him score his first goal. It's 8 games without a goal for Arsenal already, so they should let the young man score. I think Gabriel Jesus is interested in taking that.
Well, let's see. It's a penalty to
Arsenal.
In the 51st minute to go 3-0. Oh, Saka is taking it.
52nd minute.
No, he's not taking it. He's going to give the ball out.
Havertz, you said it. You said it. They should give it to Havertz. Let him get his first goal.
His first goal for Arsenal in the EPL.
And let him not miss it too. So that the situation of Coconut like Osimhen will not come in.
They won't do that for him.
No, Arsenal are loving people.
Many of them have their reservations concerning.
He's actually a good penalty taker. You know, at a point he was Chelsea's penalty taker last season. So he's actually, you know, strong when it comes to penalty. So I expect him to actually get this to the back of the net. Hope he won't just get you know, scared.
And it seems he missed it.
He missed it.
Where did you see that one, bros?
Yeah,
hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a goal! First goal for Havertz, and you can see how Arsenal fans celebrate with him. They are tapping blessing from Havertz.
His account for Arsenal.
He should not be celebrating.
You should be celebrating, my brother. Let me tell you, there are years you celebrate in your years.
Yeah.
First year, and when you have 25 years, that is silver,
Jubilee.
Golden Jubilee 50. But the first year, you need to celebrate it. and he just celebrated his first year. So we'll be
First
goal.
that.
So we'll be celebrating the next.
You shouldn't really be celebrating that
you can't be spending 64 million pounds on a player and you are scoring penalty and you are jubilating like you scored a worthy goal. 8 goals without a goal, without scoring his first goal.
My brother. Osimhen missed a penalty. They call him coconut head.
It's not about
hold on. He scored his own now. We should celebrate him. And you are saying we should not.
No. I won't celebrate. I won't celebrate.
No, you are the presenter, bros. Mike, you are the presenter. I want you to judge this situation now. Osimhen missed a penalty. They call him coconut head. Harvard score now. He said we should not be celebrating him because it's a penalty.
I'm not saying we should not be celebrating.
I'm saying he should not celebrate. He was just saying that he should not blow the celebration.
He should celebrate it now. It's his first goal for Arsenal now.
It's just a penalty.
It's his first goal for Arsenal.
Anyway, I leave the fans to join the conversation on our live chat. Should Kai Havertz?
Wow, what a hit from Manchester United! Yeah, fantastic hit. And
should Kai Havertz be celebrating that goal or not? Well,
let's hear your views.
And Justin's actually giving a good account of himself today. You know, during the Carabao Cup, we saw him came in the second half for the injured, first choice goalkeeper Henderson. And, you know, he conceded 3 goals in the space of around 45 minutes or 50 minutes thereabouts. But tonight, you know, he has actually given a good account of himself. And that's buttress the point I was saying that day, that probably, you know, he wasn't match fit that day. He was, you know, bringing in a goalkeeper from the bench to actually come in the second half and conceding a lot of goals, a lot of pressure on his neck to actually keep his team, because it was 0-0 when he was coming in and considered those 3 goals. But tonight...
Oh, and it's Arsenal 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Oh, that should be a free kick. A yellow card even.
Or a dive. It's looking like a dive.
No, there was a contact.
The referee said no.
Oh, they don't say plays on.
It's not having any of that. The ref is not having any of that. It looks like a dive from Nketiah there. This match is already looking like a match that is over. At 56 minutes. But there's still a lot of goals. There's still a lot of goals in this game for Manchester Arsenal.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And right now in this game, if Kai Havertz is still in this game, he will still get a goal. Because now the pressure has reduced on him. Because he needed that goal. He needed that goal to boost his confidence. People were already abusing him that, it's 0-0-8, you know, 8 games without a goal for Arsenal, no goal, no assist. So the abuse were there.
Even so, we still abuse him.
People like me, I'm still abusing him for scoring the penalty.
But the fact of the matter is Kai Havertz is not a striker. So he wasn't brought in to score goals.
We've seen Declan Rice score what the goal for Arsenal.
He scored the goal, doesn't mean that is his primary.
We've seen Odegaard scoring.
Yeah, we've seen them score. In fact, we've seen goalkeeper.
Is their primary assignment? Is Odegaard?
But is that his primary duty?
Yeah, is
no.
Odegaard and Declan Rice's primary duty? Don't run away from it. Is Odegaard and Declan Rice's primary duty scoring? But they scored goals for Arsenal.
They scored doesn't mean the midfielders that are not scoring are not doing good job.
Are you telling me Havertz will go another 8 game without scoring before scoring his next goal?
No. I'm not saying it's a must, but
he has already broken the
genes. You
understand? He has already broken. You know
what a way to break.
Let me tell you
what a way to break.
Once a woman is a virgin.
I don't know that.
Let's
go.
I don't know that.
No. You understand?
I wash my hands.
That's a good chance for Manchester United, but they are wasting that opportunity.
And that's a corner kick for Manchester United. They just missed that.
Are they asking for penalty or are they asking for a free kick?
I think they're asking for a penalty.
No, they can't be asking for penalty there. What's the penalty called there?
Let's see the VAR what will come up with.
I think there'll be a VAR review of that. You can see the
protest.
Amrabat is there.
The referee said, no, he's not listening to anything.
No, what is he asking for?
There was no handball. He was complaining.
Even if there was hand there, his hand was in.
There was a penalty.
It was in a natural position. It wasn't facing the ball.
It was not the natural position.
He was actually facing back. He was backing the ball.
It was backing the ball.
It was in a natural position because it was backing the ball.
It was backing the ball.
How the might is actually falling, because when you look at it now, Manchester United
and Man City just equalized.
Yeah, that was always going to come. What about Union Berlin? Are they still playing 1-0?
Yeah, still 1-0. Interested party, you got your answer.
No, I'm very much interested in Union Berlin because I have a player at Union Berlin.
No, he's not a player. No, take his ticket too.
Wow.
Oh, so Manchester City is back into the game.
And who's got for Manchester? Is it Alan?
And it's Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Did the needful.
So
it seems we have one hell of a player at our hands.
No, Julian Alvarez is actually a fantastic player. You have to look at the work rate and the work Pep Guardiola has done on that young man. I remember he was coming from River Plate. You know, he used to be a full striker, but now, you know, working on him, gelling him, and turning him out into being, you know, a player. He's not just a striker anymore. He can play as an attacking midfielder, which is actually good for him. At the point I was looking at it, that this is a good player. Talking about Julian Alvarez, and you're coming to a Manchester City that has Alan, who is there at the peak of his career, but you know, churning out those good numbers of goals. How are you going to bench Alan? But now you see, both of them are playing together, and they're getting goals, they're getting assists, which is actually good for Manchester City. Right now, they can actually, you know, it's not a must they overload, what's it called, Kevin De Bruyne when he comes back, because they have Julian Alvarez who can actually do very good job.
And Kevin De Bruyne is approaching his 30s.
Yes. And when you look at it again, you look at Grealish, the 100 million signing. Doku is actually benching him right now. And the other position...
Grealish just came back from
He just came back from... You saw him in the Carabao Cup. Doku is benching him. Doku is benching him too.
He just came back.
That is my opinion.
Over a week.
That is my opinion. Don't cut me short of my opinion. Doku is benching him. And the other place would have been good. Talking about the attacking midfield role, there's Julian Alvarez who is doing very good there. So there's no point, you know... I think Pep Guardiola will be asking himself, probably what should we be doing with Grealish right now? Because with Doku's form, I don't think there's a point, you know, you benching Doku right now. That man is in a fantastic form. You know, he came into that team and he gelled straight right away with that squad. And it has actually been good, you know, starting all games except for the, the Carabao Cup, where Grealish actually starts. When you look at the work rates, Grealish can't give exact work rate Doku is giving. That man is full of running and full of attack whenever he's playing. So it's a different ball game between two of them. The only place Grealish can actually find a solace right now is him coming in as an attacking midfielder for Manchester City.
Yeah, Shagun said the only place Grealish can find solace is to play the role Alvarez is doing
and I'm sure you're a coach.
Well.
You won't be a coach like the Gaffer. Because I know you won't bench Julian Alvarez right now for Grealish.
Oh, do you think I will bench him?
I know you'll bench him.
Well, who will bench?
I know you will bench him.
Him or not,
it's not
what we are talking.
It's what the Gaffer can do.
We are talking about what is happening right now in England.
When it comes to
and it's us now. 3 goals to nil, 60.
I thought you were about telling me that Union Berlin scored.
Oh, Union Berlin is still 1 goal to nil.
Full time.
It seems that is a Sokwe case.
Wow.
How many minutes?
Oh, don't forget. Just
94 minutes.
Just forget the minutes. Let's move back to us.
It's just one of those things in football.
Arsenal, they are not satisfied with the goal. They want to score.
No, they are 3 goals up, so they are not satisfied. Right now, they are settled and they'll get more goals. That's why I'm feeling like Havertz might actually get his first proper goal for Arsenal after that penalty goal. He might be getting that proper goal.
Yeah, after this virgin. The net. And you don't want to hear about virginity.
No, I don't know the you don't want to hear about virginity. Gaffer is talking about.
You don't want to hear about virginity. You know, somebody who has played 7 matches without scoring a goal, or more than 7 matches for Arsenal, and he got a goal. That means he has this virgin the net. So we'll be expecting more goals from him. And you don't want to hear about that.
When you talk about this virgin,
it's like you guys are guilty. It's like both of you are guilty of this virginity people.
I don't know what you're talking about. Disclaimer is the Gaffer that is talking
Let's
about
just go back to football.
We're in football. We never left.
Okay, you don't know anything about virginity.
I don't know.
Virginity is not
and Crystal Palace had a good chance and they couldn't convert it.
I can see Bruno
Fernandes holding his hip there. That was a good corner kick from Iberi Cheze.
Yeah, that's love skied into the net, you know.
It was so dangerous.
And Man, you back on the attack,
and
what can they do with this attack? It seems Manchester United needs to increase bodies up front.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that they need to bring in Garnacho and probably Anthony Martial into this game.
Garnacho is already in.
Oh, Garnacho is in already?
Yes.
Okay.
Garnacho is in already.
All right.
Checked it, and it was...
okay, yes, I think he's in, because now we are seeing Rashford on the other side of the wing. So it's very much important right now. But I think Ojlund should be going out for what's it called?
Oh, Morrison is condition! Oh, shit!
So that's what we're doing. That won't be threatening them.
And it's as if Iberi Cheze is the one that brought them to the field.
Well, the guy is
anytime you hold the ball,
that's one of the reasons why Nigeria wanted him to play for the Super Eagles, but he chose not to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So it's very much he's actually a trickish player, and you know the talent is there when it comes to that young man. So it's nothing. He's used to that.
He's used to that. And Crystal Palace on the attack. What can they do with this attack? He has 2 players on him and won himself a throw-in the final third.
The younger brother of the Ayus.
Jordan Ayew. Well, who are you? We will see after the game in the theater of dreams. You can
see Eric Tang is actually looking like he doesn't even know what to do next. Because I'm very sure if
most times that's actually how he usually looks.
If he's actually a fan, you actually be bored with what his team is actually playing.
I
don't really see the fun. I don't really see the fun. I don't
the
know what's
cutting edge, I can't see the cutting edge.
It's not there. It's actually absent in this Manchester United team.
Well, it's so not so good for Manchester United, but it is,
out to draw in this
game. It is so good for Arsenal Football Club. They are leading 3-0, cruise control in the game.
Do you know the good thing about Manchester United not winning games is for Chelsea fans, because when Manchester United is not winning, because when you look at it, who abused Chelsea fans most? It's actually Manchester United fans when they win. No, Arsenal Chelsea knows that Arsenal are currently on a good run of games, but you have to look for a team that is as successful as you, or a team that is more successful than you guys are.
Arsenal
at the point it was Chelsea and Manchester United, battling it out for the leagues in EPL. So when Manchester United is losing, and currently on the kind of run they are, Chelsea fans will always find that solace in them that Manchester United is also losing. They're also
Mainz Bayern Leverkusen ended 3-0.
So no go for Boniface today.
Yeah, no go for Boniface today. And Wolfsburg to ended 2-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. You can join the conversation on our live chat. We are having
that went clashing on the bar.
Wow!
And Manchester United still found that penalty.
Oh my goodness!
That clashed on the crossbar. Wow! And this should be what they should have been doing. Coming into the box has actually been a big problem for them. Why not, devise a means of using outside shots?
And his Wolves 2, Man City 1.
Hey!
In the
67th. I used to anytime I go to interview, I used to tell people that once Manchester City lost a game, it would be a very big news and it would be on the end line. But when they win, it's normal.
They'll go back into this game. Manchester
it is
City
normal.
They are not losing this game.
No, scoring. No. I have not seen Manchester City, concede goal in the second half. It's rare. You understand? They can concede goal in the first 32 minutes, but it's rare when they concede goal in the second half. They always have a clean sheet when it comes to the second half. So for them to concede a goal in the second half, that is I'm smelling something. They're going to drop some points. Either the girls pick a point in this match, maybe like a draw, or they lost the whole point.
Well, the gaffer is talking based on his own calculation.
A dead ball.
Okay, it's the dead ball situation.
And so far, it's 67th minute in the game between Bournemouth, Arsenal. Bournemouth leading 3-0.
Bournemouth leading 3-0.
Luton still
leading.
Arsenal leading 3-0. That was a mistake. Luton leading 2-1 away at Everton. And Crystal Palace leading 1-0 at Manchester United. And Newcastle leading 1-0 at home. West Ham leading 2-0 at home against Sheffield United. And Wolves leading at home 2-1 against the defending champions Manchester City.
I didn't actually see Arsenal going home with a clean sheet in this match.
No, that's looking likely.
But the way it is going now, with the brilliance of Raya, it's like it is going to be possible. But the match, we still have a long way to go. This is just 67 minutes.
If there's a goal, it's Arsenal scoring on that goal. Because, Solanke has actually not been in this game. Well, that's a good run there from Nketiah, but he couldn't find that. He couldn't just make that corner go straight to the back of the net. But that was actually a good run from the young man there.
That was a beautiful one. And look at that calling shot, but couldn't get it on target. And that's Dallo tried to cross the ball into the box, and that was another. But it was way off the target.
And that is
Nketiah has gone out.
Nketiah has been withdrawn. He has had a beautiful game today. Nketiah being withdrawn by Arsenal at the 69th minute of this game.
And Zinchenko
is also going out. I think precautionary measures from Arteta. Tomiyasu and Luis Nelson coming up.
Oh, these are actually good substitutions from Arsenal.
Yeah. And I think it's very important that Luis Nelson gets more playing time because Saka
is looking burnt out, and might be, there's an injury already. There's an injury scare talking about Saka right now, so they have to be very much careful. I don't really expect him playing 90 minutes in this game because you're leading 3-0 going into 70th minute, just 20 more minutes to go. For a team like Arsenal, you should be able to you should afford to take Saka off the game
and he has the Champions League to play.
Scared. There's this Champions League on Tuesday against Lens, which they want to start this young man again. So why not just withdraw him right now so he can actually, have a refill of his energy before going into that game. So I don't know why Arteta is keeping him on the field to actually play 90 minutes. It's actually very much dangerous because within 20 minutes, this young man might get injured. When you are bringing Nelson into the game and there's still Gabriel Jesus in that game, there's no point in you keeping Saka in the game already because that is your talisman, that is your go-to man. If you lose Saka right now, there's a big problem for Arsenal. Yeah. So I don't really know why you are keeping him up to play 90 minutes. It's not like you are pushing a game or you are chasing a game. You are winning comfortably already. It's not looking like Bournemouth are coming back into this game.
Yeah, it doesn't actually look like Bournemouth is coming back into this game.
Stamp
anytime soon.
Garnacho.
Okay, stamp on him. That should be a yellow card offense. That should be a yellow card offense against Crystal Palace.
So, Manchester City is still down 2-1 at Wolves. Well, there's still so much left to be seen.
Still come back in that game. Probably the victory might just be they might end that game 2-2. But they'll come back in that game.
Yeah, Shegun speaking with faith. Maybe it's one of those bookies that has put something on the game.
No, I don't put my money on Manchester City because just the same way I don't put my money on Chelsea because when you least expect is when they show up to give you those kind of upsets.
And once people like that lost, all these betting companies will make billions of naira from it. When Manchester City lost, you know what I'm saying? They make a lot of money, and that's why it is very difficult to book. Give Manchester City a straight win against some kind of average clubs. Because those are the clubs that would defeat. Actually, I said it before. Those are the kind of clubs that will actually defeat Manchester City. Those average clubs like Newcastle.
It's just one of those things that happen.
I remember.
That's first goal for. Let's see if they get to make use of that.
I remember Manchester City lost the Carabao Cup against Newcastle. They're out of the Carabao Cup. They're out of the EFL.
Yeah. They also lost early last season against Southampton.
Okay, now if they lost against Wolves, that means back-to-back lost for treble champions.
That went across the field, and that would have been the equalizer for Manchester United.
Now, that brings the conversation down to Rodri. How big of an impact do you think Rodri is his role at Man City, Shegun?
It's not just of Manchester City. Rodri is currently the best defensive midfielder in EPL, and you have to, this is almost the first time we are seeing him going out of that Manchester City team. And you can see the deficit in that midfield. Without Rodri, the midfield is not looking strong for Manchester City. It's not holding waters at all against a team like Wolves. One more of a team against Arsenal, because Arsenal is actually their next game next week in the EPL, and they'll be missing Rodri in that game also. So probably it might just be an overrunning game for Arsenal, because Arsenal will be taking momentum in games like this, looking at Wolves defeating Manchester City without a Rodri in that midfield. It's actually a big problem for Manchester City. They have to devise a means of probably maybe bringing Stones back into that defensive midfielder to actually choke up some things in there. Because if you're looking at Calvin Phillips, that is one of the problems.
He's even not starting Kevin Phillips.
I didn't mean Kevin Phillips out.
Kevin Phillips is not in the starting level
because he hasn't. When you look at it, the man is actually match rusty. For him to actually be starting competitive games. So that was last time he started a game for Manchester City. If not, I think the Carabao Cup, and that is not really a big test coming to games like EPL. I guess Arsenal, I expect Pep Guardiola to go back to his drawing board and know how to organize that as midfield, because if you are losing your midfield battle against
that was a good attempt from Eberechi, but it went way off the target and not a good test for Andre Onana. Look at that counter. He took the ball and tried to place it.
You should have actually been precise with that.
Word
Because these are the kind of chances you don't get twice in the game. And I guess teams like Manchester United, every opportunity you're getting, you have to make it count.
Yeah,
it's very much important.
Yeah, 75th minute of the game. So far, so good for Arsenal. 3 goals up. But not so good for Everton and Manchester United. Everton is 2-1 down at home. And Manchester United is 1-0 down at the Theatre of Dreams. Maybe they will keep dreaming. Or maybe it will be a theatre of lamentation. Only time will tell. And Newcastle have a penalty at the 76th minute of the game. Let's see if they can convert that one. It seems this weekend is a weekend filled with surprises. A quick reload of
the pressure is coming. The pressure is coming.
Feyenoord is 1-0 up, and Borussia Mönchengladbach is 3-1 up at the 93rd minute of the game. Real Mallorca away at Vallecano is 2-1 up at
is the referee giving a penalty there?
Salzburg is first half 2-0 up.
I think that's correct.
2-0 up. And it seems
there's a yellow card there for.
It seems there's a yellow card for Missing Mount for diving.
He hasn't actually been in this game already. He has actually been quiet in this game. That's not
for diving.
For
stabbing.
Yeah, wow, that was a wicked one.
He stabbed it. And Salzburg is 2-0 up at 36th minute of the game in that one.
We have 2 substitutions. Miss Mount is going out. Yeah, that's a good substitution. Right substitution. Taking out Miss Mount for what's it called? For Anthony Martial will be joining the attack, and Eriksen will be going into the midfield. But it's very much right to see who Eriksen is actually coming to replace, and that is looking like Rashford.
You know, talking about
the Garnacho on that other side.
And you know, to me, changing.
Ochland will be going
and Newcastle just made it 2. It's Newcastle 2, Burnley 0.
You know, this is actually the right substitution for Manchester United.
Honestly, bringing out Rashford is the substitution.
Saka is looking injured.
It's just the game. It has not been seen.
Right now,
since the first half, it has not really been.
No, bringing me out.
You can see Arteta looking confused right now. Saka is looking injured again.
You should have taken it out since now. You know what I'm saying? We have all seen this thing. You said it. I said it. You know, you should have taken him out. I don't know why you have to wait until now until he get injured, so that we will not play the next match.
Vieira right now.
And you're bringing in Palmer.
Vieira.
Okay, Vieira. You know, it is late now. Is it when now that you cannot even walk out of the field that you will be substituting him?
Well, the coaches have their reasons for doing what.
What's the difference? What difference will it make?
77th minute of the game.
Take that young man out since the 65th minute.
Yeah, I agree with you.